Hi, everybody. Welcome to the I Know We Should sessions. We're here at Chelsea Studios NYC right now with Sophie Wellington. Sophie, thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
Yeah.
So good to see y'all again.
Yeah. It's really great to see you. We first crossed paths, it was like 5-ish years ago, maybe in Western Massachusetts, and continued to cross paths until right now. Here we are in the studio and sharing music from your new record. Her Bright Smile Haunts Me Still. We're going to hear 2 songs from the record. We're going to hear a 3rd song as well. What do you want to do first today?
I'm excited to sing Shacks and Chalets by Pete Sutherland. I think this is a beautiful song that really speaks to a lot of what folks are experiencing in some of those places that maybe are left behind by the media, and I just love this story. So here's Shacks and Chalets. Across the Blue Ridge Mountains, there's a country green and fair. The roads are high and winding, there's dogwood on the air. I'm longing to see them mountains, but I think I've had my fill of the shacks along the riverbank and the chalets on the hill. For it's in that same steep country that they mine the shiny coal. That's the coal that they burn up north to break the winter's hold. And those folks that dig and those that don't, well, they all must either dwell in the shacks along the riverbank and the chalets on the hill. When it's springtime in the mountains, there's a stirring in the soul, but it also brings the floods that's caused by stripping off the coal. And the shacks along the river must obey the water's will, and you can watch them floating down the stream from the chalets on the hill. I guess it's wrong to even notice when you're only passing through. If the folks down there accept things, I guess that I should too. Still, I kinda wish I'd been there when that land was wild and still, when the rich man's greed couldn't buy the deed to the chalet on the hill. Oh, some folks say it's human nature, others say it's just our lot. The poor folk at the bottom and the rich folk at the top. But do you think someday it all will change when those people have their will? There'll be no shacks along the riverbank and no chalets on the hill. There'll be no shacks along the riverbank and no chalets on the hill.
All right. Thank you for sharing that music. We really appreciate it. Do you remember what struck you about that song at first? Is it the overall feeling of it? Is it the lyrics? Was it the instrumentality of it? What really drew you to it?
I really love this song because it depicts this place that reminds me of where I grew up. I grew up in Western Virginia, not to be confused with West Virginia. although this song is talking about being in West Virginia and coal mining communities and seeing the kind of income gap and the class discrepancy that's there. And I grew up listening to this song because Pete Sutherland was a really good family friend of ours. He was a fabulous songwriter and tunesmith, and it's just been really powerful to grow up with his music, and I wanted to include this song on this project.
It sounds to me, I wasn't familiar with the song before just now, and like the first 2/3 of it is definitely digging into, you know, the chalet on the hill, the shack by the river, and, you know, highlighting that disparity. But it seems like the last third of the song comes to a hopeful note about when this happens and when that happens, there will be no more shacks and chalets. Do you feel like that is what he is saying in the song, and do you feel any kind of a hope for our society? And because it seems like that wealth gap is just increasing and has been my whole life. I mean, do you feel any sense of optimism that some increased equity might be on the way?
That's a great question, Brad. I mean, I think that the operative word in this lyric is, do you think someday it all will change when those people have their will? And I think one of the most important things, or really the deciding factor of if things change, is whether or not people recognize the power that they each have as individuals and also as a community. And I really appreciate the sentiments in that song. And I'd like to say I'm optimistic, but I also think that, you know, it's really important that we all recognize that you can be optimistic and also realistic in how much agency we each have as individuals and how important it is to get to know one another, support others, and
Yeah. I think I'm ultimately optimistic about it, but I'm not sure if the arc of the shacks and the chalets meeting somewhere in between is, I think it's a longer arc than we're going to be around for. You know, I think in 300 years we figure that out, but.
Yeah, and it's also whether or not the goal is a universal shift or a incremental shift little by little. And I think that's what it will take, is one or the other, either a lot of little incremental shifts or some giant catastrophic apocalyptic end run. So we'll see. Well, we won't see, but we might see the beginning of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Norway, dude. That's it for me.
Yeah.
But I can affect incremental change from there and make these videos, you know. I don't know. This is what I'm going to keep on doing.
Yeah, and I can come visit, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yes. So we're one song right now into a 3-song session.
Yeah.
What would you like to play second here today?
Oh gosh, I'd love to play this song. Well, it's really a tune. It's a fiddle tune called Three Forks of Cumberland. It comes from the Hamblin Collection, which is a beautiful and mysterious collection of tunes. Some of my favorite tunes come from there. This is a tune that I'm playing in this tuning. So the bottom part of the guitar is kind of imparting the tuning you would play it in on the fiddle, which is A-E-A-E. And the point of that cross tuning, which is what we call it, is to achieve kind of a droning sound. And it gives you a lot of harmonic opportunities. And then I kind of found my way to this tuning just by fooling around on guitar. It's what I've been doing a lot of, is finding ways to play fiddle music on guitar that kind of imbibe some of the instrumental qualities of that instrument into either the playing in the right hand with bowing patterns and direction, or in the left hand with tunings and hammer-ons, pull-offs, different techniques to try and find my way to the fiddle music. So that's what I'll play next. Yeah.
thank you again for coming and playing this music for us today.
Sure.
Do you feel parts of your brain maybe activating in different ways when you translate what makes sense idiomatically on one instrument to another, like in a similar way if you were learning a new language? Or I mean, when you were talking earlier about translating one thing to the other, I was thinking about learning to ride a snowboard switch, and it's like it changes everything. Or learning to, I mean, language and switching balance were really my two frames of reference for that. But do you feel new pathways in your brain opening when you try to translate one to the other?
That's a great question. And I love the examples you used because, like, one of them is using that movement and shifting of weight, which is a lot of how I think about music as a dancer. I think so much about weight shift in music, harmony, rhythm. And then the other thing you said, the language, because there are obviously commonalities in between these intervals, because just like common words between languages or turns of phrase. Wow, I find myself really engaged when playing the guitar in a fiddle tuning or in a fiddle adjacent tuning. Because parts of it feel totally normal and totally natural because of the intuitive sense I have for where my finger wants to go to get to a certain note. But then it also has all these moments where, like, a part of the, like, there's some extra strings right on the guitar that it's like, what do I do with this? And so I'll half the time I feel like I know where everything is, and then half the time I'm having a really good time not knowing what the hell is going on and kind of like figuring out where it's safe, where I can land, where I need to shift to be where I need to be. But a lot of the way that I've kind of found my way to these tunings is either I'll take something on the fiddle and impart it onto guitar, or I'll play a tune on guitar, and wherever my finger wants to go to intuitively, I'll just put the right note under the finger. So I'll tune it until it gets to, like, okay, well, my finger wants to be there. As opposed to, you know, playing in standard tuning, which, you kind of cater to where the note is, as opposed to catering to where your finger wants to be. That being said, it's been one of the best ways to practice playing in standard tuning is, like, tune it weird and be really confused about where you are and, like, figure that out, and then you go back to normal and you're like, whoa, it's pretty easy. Like, I know where I can play this chord and trust that. So it's just and I also think maybe the last thing I'll say about that is that one of the best things that I've done for my musicianship as an artist is learn how to play different instruments. And I feel like this is kind of a meta way of doing that, where not only am I playing different instruments, the hardware, but I'm uploading the software into different hardware now, where, like, the guitar is starting to take on a life of its own.
Yeah, I like that metaphor as well, the different software and the hardware. I mean, I kind of feel a little bit of an analog with the color work that I'm doing now with cameras, where,
right.
I mean, I just told you we just got back from the Eastern Sierras, and ultimately I know what I want the image to look like, but there's no autopilot for us. It's like a different instrument because there's no studio. It's like not the same canvas every time. So we really have to think on our feet about how do we get there, even if when there's no sort of pattern to fall into. I know how this, I'm getting to know how this room works,
right?
But a lot of the time we get plopped into a spot where there's we recorded you in a barn, and it was
and then I was in the room when you were at Delfest, and you recorded in that, like, little bird's eye room, with no AC. Remember that?
Oh my God, it was like 130 degrees with wasps. I remember.
With wasps.
That one we thought on our feet then.
I've never been so hot and so muddy in my life. Like, I remember, like, up to my ankles in mud. It was crazy. That was fun, though.
Yes, and this is fun. We're clean and we're comfortable here in this beautiful room. And thank you again for sharing the music. There's still one more song coming up right now. What do you want to play third?
Well, I think I'm gonna play a tune that's on my record, but on the record it's fiddle music and ballads and some choice songs, one of which I played today. that I really love, but that are arranged for either instrumental guitar or guitar and voice. And so today I'm going to play one of those tunes that's on the album that I arranged for guitar. I released this as a single in June, but I'm going to play it on fiddle so that we can kind of come full circle and see how these instruments talk to one another. This is Scolding Wife from Marion Reece.